everyone, and welcome back to yet another class of English. Today we shall begin with another new chapter, that is a poem entitled The King Without Plots, written by Nirendranath Chakraborty, a renowned Bengali poet and a Sahitya Academy Award recipient as well. So dear children, what is the outstanding quality that comes in your mind when you hear the word king? Maybe you all say intellectual, prudent, sensible, courageous, or a bold king, a wise king. If I ask you, have you ever heard about the kings who are not suited to the position? Have you ever heard of the kings who are not fit to their power and the position? Yes, it seems or it sounds quite strange about the kings who do not suit their positions. So exactly today in this very chapter, The King Without Clothes, we will learn about an emperor having a peculiar character, having a unique personality trait. Although if you see the title of the poem, The King Without Clothes, it seems quite weird, absurd, pretty funny and hilarious, but still deep within it has got a deeper message to convey to its readers. So in this poem, the king or the emperor is a vain man who is obsessed with newest fashion and new clothes, so much so that he spends a lot on his clothes. So once on one day, what happens, a couple of swindlers or two conmen who consider themselves as the best weavers of the kingdom, they convince the king that the clothes they are making are of the best quality, are of the finest quality, and that cloth would be visible only to the elevated people. According to those conmen or the frauds, the cloth that they are making would be visible only to the elevated people, and the stupid fool or the people, incompetent people or the unfit people, they won't be able to see the cloth that they have made. So the king, this emperor, gets so much impressed that he hires them. Then after, in a due course of time, people, they go to see the progress. But they find nothing. Those weavers, those frauds, those conmen, they have made nothing. It wasn't anything. Like there was nothing made as such for the king. But still those people who all have gone to pay a visit, they bestow false praises and they pretend as if they could see the cloth, which in fact they couldn't, just because out of the fear that they might be termed as stupid and foolish and the ones who are unfit for their positions. That's why those people pretended that they could see the cloth, but in fact they couldn't. So the king finally decides to put on that clothes, and he wears those clothes in his kingdom, and firstly in the palace. So all the people in the palace, they pretend as if they could see the clothes, and they say that what a fine set of clothes the king is wearing. But in fact they are very much aware of the fact that the king is without clothes. In fact the king is naked. But they could not acknowledge it because they fear that they might be termed as incompetent and foolish and stupid who could not visualize the clothes. Then the next day, the king decides to lead a parade in the kingdom. So once he sets on the road, all the people gather, all the subjects of the kingdom gather around the king, and they also pretend to admire the clothes. Where the king, he in fact wants to showcase his cloth, but it's not visible. In fact, he is naked. But still the subjects or the people of his kingdom, they pretend as if they are admiring the cloth, but knowing the fact that the king is without clothes, just because of the fear that even they will be considered as the incompetent or stupid lot. But one has to speak the truth. So who is going to speak the truth? It is clearly, or it is truly said that children and fools tell the truth. So one child, a small child, observes that, and he cries and yells in the middle of the crowd that, see, the emperor is without clothes. Then the rest of the people, they also realize that they are not only they aren't the only one who are stupid. Even the king himself is stupid and foolish. So this is the very background of the poem The King Without Clothes, where this famous Bengali poet Nirendranath Chakraborty, he talks about the king who is so much proud to showcase his clothes, in fact which is not visible to anyone. And here we come to know that the child, he has the courage and honesty to speak out the truth aloud in front of the entire crowd. And this poet, he tells that go and find the boy who has earlier spoken the truth about the king. So this is the very small background of the story. Now let us read this interesting, amazing, intriguing poem in detail. So let me read the first stanza of the poem, The King Without Clothes, by Nirendranath Chakraborty. So here it goes. They can all see the king is naked, yet they are all applauding. See here, in the very first two lines, the poet makes it clear that all the people present in the kingdom, they all could see, they all could witness that the king is without clothes. The king is naked, yet they are pretending that they could see the clothes, and they all are applauding, means they all are clapping away. Everyone shouting, all the people gathered there to witness the king, they all are shouting, bravo, bravo. See, this is as a mark of respect. The people, they have gathered around him and shouting and honoring him. Everyone shouting. Some from custom. So among that crowd gathered over there in that particular time, some from custom, some people, they are shouting bravo, bravo, out of custom, means out of misbelief that the king should be honored and respected no matter whatever happens over there. No matter if the king is wrong also, it's their duty to honor and respect the king. And some people, they are shouting because of fear, because they are scared of the power and authority of the king. And some people, they are shouting because they have poured their own wits to others. That means they have mortgaged their brains to others. That means they do not have their own sense. They do not have their own logic to decide what is right and what is wrong. And some people present in the group, they are parasites. Parasites means the people who are totally dependent on others and they use others for their sake. So whatever does the crowd do, they follow the same. Some supplicants, some people present in the crowd, they are supplicants. Supplicants means some people who they try to get the opportunity, they try to get the benefit, just like as a result of nepotism or as a result of favoritism. And opportunist is what supplicant means. So some people are opportunists, that's why they are shouting bravo, bravo, and pretending just to get the attention, just to get the benefit. And some are suitors, some they have tried to impress, some people they have come to impress the king, and frauds. Some are con men and frauds. And some really think the royal robe so fine, and some people in the crowd, they think that the king's robe or the king's dress, although invisible, is so ethereal, so fine, is there though you can't see it. So much so that it's so ethereal that the people could not see with their naked eyes. At least it may be so. So in the very first stanza, the poet has introduced to us the group of people who all are applauding or clapping away the king. And among those groups, some bunch of people, they are frauds, some are suitors, some are supplicants or the opportunities. So different people are intermixed in the crowd, and some people, they think that the king's attire is so ethereal or so elegant and so fine that they could not see with their naked eyes. Then what interesting thing does the poet say in the second stanza? Let me read the second stanza for you all. Everyone knows the story. See? All the people knows the story, knows the fact that the king is without clothes. But in that story, there wasn't only the flattering crew See, the poet says that the crowd is entirely flattering the king. Despite knowing the truth that the king is naked, no one has dared to open their mouth and speak out the truth because they didn't want to appear incompetent and foolish and stupid. But the poet says that the story of the poem not only highlights the people who all are cowards, who all are flattering, but he says of out and out cowards, among those cowards and flattering group and flattering cowards and opportunists and fools. So these opportunists, fools, those cowards, they all are gathered in the crowd, unable to speak the truth. There was a child as well. There was an innocent child as well, a truthful, simple, courageous little child. The poem does not only highlight the group of cowards, opportunities, parasites, supplicants, but here the poet introduces to us a child, a naive and innocent child who is truthful, honest, simple, courageous because he has got no fear to lose, and he is brave and bold. So this is a child who is very much present in the crowd at the time when the king is out with his parrot to showcase his clothes. Then interesting thing happens. Let us see and read the next stanza, that is third stanza. That fabled king has now stepped out in state upon the high road of reality. Now that fabled king means that fictitious king has come out into the high road, means high road of reality, means he has come to the very road of reality. He has now come to encounter the real world and the real people. Again there gathers around the king a crowd of psychopaths, the people who do not have their own sense and logic, who totally have lost out their minds. Again, each moment they break out in applause. Only I do not find. So the poet here says that again the same group of people having the same character traits, they have again gathered around the king, again clapping away and applauding the king. But the poet says that here now again I could not find the child in the crowd. Where is the child, that small child? So who is the child and why he is being introduced to us in the poem? Let us read the fourth stanza. That little child today among the crowd, where is he gone? The little child who is supposed to be here in this very crowd of the people who all have come to witness the king, where has he gone? No, he is not anywhere to be seen. He is not visible to the poet at all. Then he says, has someone thrust him from sight in a secret mountain cave? Has someone thrown the child away in a secret mountain cave so that he does not appear in the crowd and talk to the king once again? Then he says, or has he playing with grass and earth and rocks and fallen asleep by a distant lonely river? Now the poet is speculating the whereabouts of the child, and he gives a number of probable reasons or probable assumptions that he might be in the secret mountain cave, or the child might be playing with grass and earth and rocks, and while playing he might have fallen asleep in a distant lonely river, or on some plain under a shady tree, or he must be asleep under a shady tree. That's why the child is nowhere to be seen right now. Then the poet says in the last stanza, go find him. The poet says, go and find the child. Find him to no matter how. Go and find him. Bring him over here no matter what. Let him once more before the naked king. Let the child be present and let the child stand right in front of the naked king once again, fearlessly, stand fearlessly. Let him once raise his voice above the applause. Again, let him raise his voice above the applause or above the claps and ask, King, where are you? clothes. So the poet says that let the child be brought again back to the same scenario where the crowd has entirely covered the king. Let him be brought to the situation and let him ask again fearlessly that, King, where are your clothes? This is how the poem ends over here. Towards the end, we find that everyone is afraid to look stupid and they all pretend to see something that isn't there. And everyone pretends to admire the king's clothes except for the little boy who yells at the emperor that the emperor has no clothes. So what do we learn from the poem? So what is the moral of the poem? We learn that just because of pretentiousness and because of social hypocrisy, people often pretend to know about or agree certain things because it makes us or it makes them look better, it makes them look clever. But in fact, we shouldn't be hypocrites. Instead, we should be honest and innocent, just as this child who will always follow and favor the way of truth. So this is the end of the poem, The King Without Clothes by Narendranath Chakravarti. Thank you very much.